We're here live at PlayStation's E3 booth, and we've got a lot more games to show off today. And I'm very excited about this next one. We're going to check out the latest on The Walking Dead, the final season. That is one of my favorite series out there, especially in the narrative category. Honored to be joined by Kent Mundell from Telltale.
Hello.
And the voice of Clementine herself, Melissa Hutchinson.
Hi.
So good to have you on.
Thank you.
And Kristen Titus as well.
Hi.
Glad to have you here. You're also a huge fan of this series.
I am a massive, massive fan of this series. I'm like so excited to be here with you.
So, I mean, you guys are really putting it out there. You're just like, it's the final season. Like, that's exciting, I think, you know. Tell me a little bit of why you decided to position it that way.
So since the beginning, like the first season of The Walking Dead set up the arc of Clementine, who was trained by Lee to survive, and the seasons that have been since then have all still been about Clementine's arc, and so this is going to finally bring a satisfactory conclusion to the character of Clementine since she started in the first season.
That's great. So it's the culmination of this story that's been rolling out now for, this will be the fourth and final season. Melissa, you have actually voiced Clementine the entire time.
I have, yeah.
So how has your sort of approach shifted from playing a young girl to a much older woman?
Well, besides obviously the vocal change,
Sure.
she now sounds more like I do in range. But you know, when the game started in season 1, Clementine was just innocent. I mean, little girl, and your role as Lee, the playable character, was to protect her. And through seasons 2, 3, I won't spoil too much on what happens. For those who haven't played it, that'd be crazy if you haven't. Kind of moves organically through seasons 2, 3, 4. Now she's this super badass, capable survivalist teenager, and kind of full circle in a sense that now it's her role to protect AJ.
And she's kept that hat the whole time.
She's kept that hat.
Gosh.
You can tell that hat's been through some wear.
I was going to say that hat has
Like D is like flapping off it.
Yeah, but she still has the hat. So
this is a very different look here right off the top. I mean, I've not seen sort of action like this from the series before.
Yeah, the final season has sequences of unscripted combat where the players get to choose in a more mechanically engaging way how to engage with the zombies.
Cool. And I mean, visually, this looks excellent. What do you think, Kristen?
I mean, I'm completely blown away by the visuals. This is probably the most realistic that this has ever looked. Like going back from the first season to here is mind-blowing. To be able to see this big change. I'm super excited for this too because Clementine has now sort of become a mentor, not a mentor, but she's looking over somebody like someone used to do for her. So now she has AJ, she's looking out for him and trying to protect him. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's going to be like?
Yeah, so like you're saying, basically Clementine, who learned all the lessons from Lee, now has someone of her own to protect. And she's done an excellent job at the start of the season about teaching him how to survive in the zombie apocalypse. They're many years into it now, and both she and AJ know all the tricks and stuff to deal with a world full of zombies. And
yeah, because AJ was born into this
Exactly.
world.
AJ was born in this world and didn't know a world before there were zombies at all. So he's a very different character to raise than Clementine was in the first season.
So here we're also seeing inside, it's that she finds a school and a group of other kids in this world that there's no adults around.
Yeah, so the thrust of the season is Clementine has been traveling in the apocalypse for so long, and she's been on the road, and she's trying to finally find someplace where she might be able to settle down and call home. And she finds an abandoned boarding school for troubled youth. Yeah. It's a society of children which has no adults, so there's no one hung up about how the world used to work.
Yeah.
So this might be a real chance for her to make something that lasts.
Is she going to be moving into a leadership role here, or is she sort of just getting her wits about her?
She's really capable, so people will start to look to her for examples of how things should go. But how that develops, you'll have to play the season to find out.
Yeah.
So we're seeing some classic dialogue choices here. And it's definitely familiar to me as somebody who's played so many games in the series. But are we still going to have these sort of tough decisions that players are going to have to make?
Yes, absolutely. The season will have nail-biting choices that'll make you really question what you're doing, who you think should live and who should get hurt, and what lessons you want AJ to take from that as well.
It's interesting that Clementine is kind of coming almost full circle, sort of stepping into Lee's shoes from the original series, which is a very interesting choice. And what made you want to kind of take this character in this direction?
I think, like you said, it's full circle. It's kind of a natural direction for her character to go. she was taken care of by someone who taught her, and so as she's gotten older and learned to survive better, she's trying to pass those lessons on to someone else. Because it's something that sort of represents, passing knowledge on like that is one of the only things that represents a kind of permanence in the Walking Dead world.
So one thing I got to ask, and you probably won't tell me anything, but the series is sort of famous for bringing back characters, you know, in surprising ways. So without spoiling anything, might we see a familiar face or two?
I can confirm we will see a familiar face or two in the season, and I will not tell you who.
What else are you proud of? I mean, what are you like particularly engaged with in development here that you really want people to know about?
Well, I come specifically from the cinematic angle of this thing. I've been working as a director at Telltale for ages, and I think the work our animators and our cinematic team have done make the Telltale games, and particularly Walking Dead Final Season, really stand out from other games of this type. It looks like a really well-shot movie, and everything is carefully crafted to give the player this experience that'll make them feel it the most that they possibly can. So I think the visual presentation of it and the cinematography in particular is something that's really special about our games.
Melissa, as an actor, what does Clementine sort of represent for you?
Oh man, that goes deep. I mean, it's been such a huge part of my life. You know, I think I can speak for all of us who worked. There's actually a few people here worked on season 1. We had no idea. You know, we knew we were going in and we were doing voiceover for an amazing game. That was known the second you saw the script, but just how well this game has done and how it's impacted my life as just not just as an actor, but you know, traveling and developing this insanely awesome fan base, whom I'm so eternally grateful for. I mean, this is a fan-driven game. Literally, your choices are what drives this game. So I'm just honored to be Clementine, and you know, of course, I'm sad it's coming to an end, but I feel like it's in a good span. I'm trying to wrap my head around. I'm going to need like a serious support staff on that last recording session. But it's just been such an amazing part of my journey. So, yeah.
One thing I want to point out here is we're seeing some overhead camera that is completely different for this series, right?
Yeah. So the camera for this system for this season is an orbital cam. So you get a third-person look, so you really get to kind of dig into the environments. And there's a big emphasis on exploration and actually looking around 3D spaces.
It looks like we're moving more than we ever really have before.
Yeah, exactly. It's less of the fixed traditional nav camera type stuff from the previous adventure gaming seasons, and is more of a modern orbital camera that allow you to explore the environments in great detail. And the environments look amazing, so you're going to want to explore the hell out of them.
And the combat, it's no longer just QTEs anymore.
It is no longer just QTs. There's sections of unscripted combat where you get to choose how you engage zombies in a sort of higher level of danger and difficulty we've had in the game before, and in addition to cinematic sequences of QTEs for like really flashy stuff.
Could you tell us who this character we're seeing here is, this blonde gentleman?
Yeah, so this mulleted individual is Marlon, who is the leader of the abandoned boarding school that Clementine finds. He's kind of keeping this group of kids together in the apocalypse, and he's going to be a really important character for the season in this episode.
Interesting. And where is Clementine right now? Like, where is she mentally? Where is she? You know, where does the game sort of show her starting off?
The game opens with Clementine and AJ on the road, and they're kind of really at the wit's end of how long they've been doing this kind of journey. They're really good at it, but they're running low on food, and they've been continuing to try to find places to survive, and just nothing's been working out. So Clementine is really kind of getting tired and sort of almost at the end of her rope, despite the fact that she knows how to live in this world. And so they're really looking for a new opportunity.
So it's kind of about establishing roots and trying to find, you know, a family of sorts, a surrogate family, or create one.
Exactly. And Clementine's had tons of those fail around her, as Walking Dead groups tend to do throughout all the other seasons. So this season has her best chance at something that might last and be more permanent in this kind of world.
And it takes a bit of bravery, you know, to reinvest in something like that after it hasn't worked out so many times. So
yeah, it really speaks to Clementine's resilience as a survivor and everything she's picked up from what she learned from Lee, that she's still trying. She's never stops trying.
That's right. Game is looking really, really good. I mean, this is a visual leap in a major way. Yeah, I can't wait. So when is this coming out?
This comes out August 14th for $19.99.
Okay.
And for fans who maybe just played season 1 and haven't like caught up, if you go to WalkingDeadTheGame.com and pre-order it, you'll get the Walking Dead collection for free.
That's a good
which
deal.
is all of the previous seasons, including spin-offs.
It's a lot.
So that's
It's
the
a lot,
absolute. It's an
people.
amazing deal and a good way to catch up
That's
if for some
excellent.
reason
Yeah.
you haven't checked in for a while.
That is a hell of a deal on a truly important series in gaming history. I mean, the first season particularly, I mean, really grabbed me. Have you tweaked the development process over the years? I mean, I remember talking to some of the team from the first season or two, and they were sort of treating it like a TV show, like they'd kind of write it in between chapters, or is it more, do you take sort of a more unified approach to the development now?
The season still has episodes, so it's still like each piece of it is being made in concurrence, but we've made sure, probably better than we had before, to plan the ending and the arc of the whole season the entire time. So we know how it's going to end, but each individual piece of it is still being worked on sequentially. So it's still kind of how we were doing it before, but I think we have a really solid vision for how it's going to go.
And you've picked up a lot of tricks along the way.
Yeah, we've been at this a while, so
Yeah.
we know the pitfalls and things to avoid at this point.
Outstanding. Well, hey, Walking Dead, the final season.
Final season.
It's coming. It's coming in August.
It's coming August 14th.
14th. Wow, you got a date and everything. You guys are serious.
They made sure I memorized that.
Okay, good.
like the
Well, thanks for
one thing.
sharing all of that. That was
thank
awesome.
you.
Thank
and
you.
thank you so much,
Thank you.
Melissa,
Yeah,
for coming
of
by
course.
and for gracing us with an iconic performance.
Thank
in
you.
video
I'm
games.
honored to be here. Thank you
So,
very much.
I'll be playing. I can
Oh,
tell you
thank
that.
you, everyone.
And I think
Thank
we
you.
got some folks here who will be playing as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot more in store today. We'll be back in just a minute or two with more games.
プレイステーション